next. Join Joe, John, and Jim as they discuss the biggest stories in the world of sports.
You put them all together, it makes a nice package, right?
Get ready
for passionate and intelligent conversation about the biggest issues and personalities in sports.
It's unscripted.
Somehow got mono. God knows who he was making out with.
Some people call him dirty. I like to call him creative.
It's unfiltered.
I'm going to need another beer soon.
And I said, well, hold, you're making my point, right?
My thoughts are I'm going to call my therapist after the show is what I'm going to do.
What's up, Bean Apple fans? Welcome back to another show, week 15. Here with John and Jim. Joe, I'm still alive. I made it through the night. I'm still hanging on by a thread, but I'm emotionally unstable right now. So if I randomly break into tears, just everybody knows why. If you watched the show I did last night, so definitely rough. But it was rough for all of us this week. Me, I think a little bit more. John, you're a close second place. And Jim, you're still hanging in there. So
yep, absolutely.
Slim. The Cowboys are about to pass the Giants. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but they are.
Yeah, how were the Cowboys and the Giants tied? Right? I mean, what happened there?
Wait, pick me. I know. Oh, because they both suck. Hold on. Is this Jeopardy?
John?
Yeah. What do you call the shitty NFC East?
Oh, okay. Survey says yes. Number one answer. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just brutal week.
It really is. And now with Jalen Hurts there, it looks like he's got that Eagles team kind of rallying. They took a tough loss. They took a tough loss last week, but much more competitive than with Carson Wentz under center. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that division just went from sloppy seconds to a nice prime meal there.
Every team is still in it in the East. Nobody's eliminated yet.
So gross.
Two weeks left, and Washington is in first place at 6-8.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks left, and we're talking about now.
They might not get to 500.
Right. So we initially said, 6 wins? Or I said 6 wins will win this. Will that stay true? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it can it? Because they're all playing each other, right?
If everybody loses out.
They are. The last week of the season, they all play each other.
Okay. So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
So 7 wins could take the division.
Yeah.
I hate being wrong.
A 7-9 team could be a division winner, hosting, a 9-5 team. Or currently,
wasn't that Seattle a few years ago? Didn't Seattle do that?
I thought they were 500. I don't think were they below 500.
I thought they were 7-9. I could have sworn.
I think so too.
Well, no shit. Yeah.
7-9, and they hosted the game.
Yeah.
Up in Seattle.
Yeah, that's
and actually they won the game, right?
They beat
Arizona,
the Saints.
maybe?
They beat the Saints that game.
The first 7-9 team to ever make the playoffs, and then did it again by becoming the first to win a playoff game, racking up 31 first downs, 474 yards, including a 67-yard touchdown run by Mr. Skittles himself, Marshawn Lynch.
There you go, 2010. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah. Was that also the same year that? That was the Marshawn Lynch year.
Yep.
What was the year with Matt Hasselbeck when they went to overtime and he did the famous they won the coin toss and he said we want the ball and we're going to win and then immediately threw an interception. Do you remember that?
Like a pick six or something like that.
To lose the game. And I think at that point on he was like, I guess I'll just go on ESPN and be a commentator at that point. So yeah, I thought
it's good to have confidence though. I mean, he had confidence to say it, but then he couldn't execute. So
yeah, right. I mean, you've got to as the quarterback, and if it worked out. It's like Babe Ruth calling a shot, but unfortunately he struck out. So not only did he strike out, but he did like one of those, you swing so hard that you fall down in the dirt and your helmet falls off and you're just like, oh.
And then it counts as 3 strikeouts and the game's over.
Right. So, man, that was rough.
Yep.
But we'll see. The Giants are still in it. So, Jim, you were kind of teasing a little bit in the green room that you had something to open with. What do you?
Well, so I got a bottle of this Shiner Holiday Cheer because I thought it was cause for celebration because the Jets won, right? So I thought we would have a little celebratory drink, right? I mean, I don't know if you've had this Shiner Buck Holiday Cheer. They're not a sponsor yet, but I'll put it up here and have a little toast to Jets' first win of the season. Right?
Oh, boy,
I mean, I don't know if you heard, but Gase said the plane ride home was the most excited he's seen his team all year. The players are super excited that they won, not just owner.
Why wouldn't they be? They just won the game.
Right.
None of the players wanted to go over to draft Trevor Lawrence. None of them did.
That's right.
And
it's a fans initiative.
Yeah, and the Rams took them lightly. There's no other way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
McVay did not get that team ready. There's no way he could have. Or maybe he thought he did, and the players just said, "Hey, look, we're playing the Jets. Let's get tanked tonight." You know what I mean? Let's get like chocolate wasted the night before, enjoy tomorrow, and go from there. Somehow the Jets pulled this out, and not only wasted. I want to get wasted, Eddie. Brother, thank you. That's awesome. So not only did they lose out on the first pick, and I'll talk about the mock draft that came out today too. Not only did they lose that, but the casinos made out like crazy because everybody, whether it was a 5-team parlay to a 9-team parlay, everybody had the Jets losing that game. Everybody took the Rams, including myself. Mm-hmm. My brother, he may jump on and he may give his sob story as well, but casinos made out like bandits, absolute bandits, because they paid out jack shit.
Yeah.
Except for the one guy who bet $100 on the Jets to win in week 15. You know what? I want to hang out with that guy. I think he has what was that thing in Back to the Future Part 2, the Sports Almanac?
Right.
Biff had it, right? He's placing bets. That's Biff. He got it from Back to the Future Part 2. So
right. That's unbelievable. That guy threw a dart at the wall and said, "Who am I? Which week is it going to be? 15 against the Rams. There's no way. 17-point dogs." And they, when I turned it off, it was 13-0, and I thought, "What the hell's going on here?" Because I can't stand watching the Jets. I can't watch that. But
so that was the second largest win in Super Bowl history as far as point spread. Yeah, 17-point or 18-point dogs that was the largest spread overcome in Super Bowl, and the second largest in Super Bowl history or era history. Super Bowl era history. So
okay. I was going to say, I know yesterday was like your Super Bowl, like winning that first one, getting the W.
No,
Gase just clinching that. Hey, me and Darnold are coming back next year. We're coming back next year.
You know what I felt like yesterday watching that game? This is it, and you just put it perfectly.
Oh, there's my boy right there.
Hey, Jags fan. Wow.
He is the only Jags fan I know. He's the only one.
Turns out he's just the only one.
But a diehard. He's a diehard Jags fan. I met him back in 2015, 2016. Diehard Jags fan, always has been. He's a little bit happier than you are today, Joe.
Yeah.
Just a little bit happier. Still worried. I was chatting with him earlier. He's still worried that the Jags are going to blow it somehow. But I told him, don't worry. The Jets always blow it even more than anybody else.
They will. Right. They will. But God, Travis, I hope you're right. I hope it's this week and everything swings back and my life has direction again because I need it. But
2050, there we go.
But what what I was going to say is watching that game yesterday, I know exactly what Arthur Blanks feels like standing on the sideline of the Super Bowl. I know exactly how he felt watching that, just watching Trevor Lawrence just slip away. That's how he felt when he walked down there, and it was like, all right, it's 24-3. This game's over. That's how I felt going into this week. Because like this, not even worried about it. I said it in the pregame. I was like, not even worried about this game. I'm going to be able to sit back and enjoy it, and not have to worry. And I just watched in horror and disarray as it just kept happening. It was just like, when you watch that inevitable train wreck, and you're just like. Yeah, or what was it? Like back in Austin Powers, remember Austin Powers when he's on the steamroller and he's just like, move, and it just keeps creeping towards him. Then it runs him over, and then he finally stops. That's how I felt yesterday. It's just like, please move, let them score.
Yep.
No.
Unreal. It was unreal. And little Eddie up there, you guys lost your GM today. Somehow the coach didn't get fired, but your GM got fired. Found that a little odd, but we'll see who they replace up in Carolina.
Yeah. But even at the end of the game, I mean, why is Goff throwing the ball down the field? Right, they're down 3. They need a few yards. What is he doing?
Because they should be able to. Honestly, they should be able to.
But they haven't been able to all game, right? True. All game they haven't been able to. I mean, 3 and out. I mean, I'm sure they were looking past, and it was a trap game for them, absolutely. But, I mean, it gets to be the end of the game. You got to kick that field goal to tie the game and not lose and go to overtime. And the fact that they don't do that is unbelievable. Yes, you could have came stumbling out of the blocks in the beginning, but it gets to fourth quarter and you know what you need to continue playing and you don't do it? Come on.
Yeah, that was the worst thing. We were talking about that is they were walking down the field on that last drive. They were going right down. They had a touchdown called back for a holding. It was like a 18, 20-something yard run, whatever it was, that they ended up having to kick a field goal on. Another play called back on that drive that they ended up. So it was 3rd and 4, and he went deep twice. It would have been like a 58-yard field goal or something like that. From that point, they decided not to do it, go for it on 4th. And instead of just going and getting 4 or 5 yards, he throws it, 20 yards downfield. Why? Like, yes, you should have been able to do it, but you haven't been. And at that point, on 3rd down, okay, take a shot downfield. If you're going to go for it on 4th, you have to get 5 yards. That's it. And keep it going. And then you're in field goal range. Like, that would have put them at a long 40-yard field goal at that point, and probably taken a little bit more off of that, if not scored a touchdown to win the game. But they didn't do it, and I was watching and just shocked in disbelief.
That's right. I remember when you posted that. I remember when you posted that on Facebook. Oh,
yeah.
You're right. You're right. They should have to.
I still got a chance. I predicted 3-13, so I'm still on. I still got a shot at being right.
Yeah.
God, I hope you are. They'll be drafting 4th. They'll take a wide receiver. It'll be magical. Absolutely magical. Joe, I'm so sorry. I watched your show last night.
We need a wide receiver. I would.
No, stop it. No, you don't. You don't.
We need everything. We need. I know you do. But even if we're picking at 2, that's what I was talking about. So the Jets are picking at 2 as of right now, right? I don't think I know you said Fields is a nice consolation prize. And I don't know how the Jaguars were feeling about drafting Fields. Travis, I'd like to know, like, kind of what the 6 Jaguar fans were thinking on that. But I don't think that's the way the Jets go. I really don't. I feel like at this point, and it sucks because you're going to be with Sam for one more year, unless he does some kind of a team-friendly contract, a prove-it contract. But you can't pick up the 5th-year option like we talked about. You can't pay him $22 million because you know what? He still played worse than Joe Flacco did in those games. I mean, only 200 yards and 1 touchdown. Yes, the Rams defense is good, but it wasn't yesterday.
No.
So, like I was saying last night, if he would have thrown 450 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns, ran for 60 yards, okay, you made a statement. Like, there's something here. But you had a pedestrian day. That's all it was. It was a pedestrian day, and you won the game. So I'm not excited about it. So you can't give him $22 million, $25 million, whatever it's going to be next year to pick up that option. So you're going to carry him for one more year. If he doesn't do some kind of a 3 or 4 year, team friendly type of prove it deal, you're back in this boat again next year. But the nice thing is if you're picking at 2, if you don't go at Fields, you should be able to get at least another first to trade back a little bit, maybe with Denver, maybe with Carolina, something like that. Move back a little bit. You get a first and a second for them to move up. Now you've got 3 first-round picks, maybe 3 first-round picks the next couple years. So there's something to go with there. Maybe you grab Pitts out of Florida State, keep the Patriots from getting him. That's a nice target for Sam next year. I don't know, but
Zach Wilson. So I started Googling earlier the 2021 NFL mock drafts, and they've already updated. Of course, Jacksonville taking Trevor Lawrence. Of course they are. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville and the Jets didn't both win another game. But yeah, they're talking about Zach Wilson now in this latest mock draft. And just to kind of bring my son-in-law into it, and they're talking about at 3 that they're going to draft Jamar Chase, Cincy. So Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase will be reunited again. They don't even have him going after that O-lineman out of Oregon. So all kidding aside, I mean, how can the Jets not draft a quarterback this year, 1 or 2? You have to. I mean, you just have to.
Well,
there's no way you can't.
So what's going to make you think they're going to win more games next year? And Ed, a pedestrian day is just like a middle of the road, nothing special type of day. I mean,
Ed, take it easy on him. He hasn't slept in like 2 days, man. If you watched the show last night, I couldn't even clown on him because he is my friend, and I felt really bad. I feel awful for you, Joe, but I don't feel bad because like I texted you guys last night, the thought of Allen, Tua is going to be good. I'm telling you right now, Tua in Miami is going to be good. And Trevor Lawrence and the AFC East scares me a little bit. So I'm really glad. Let's move him to the Jags. And what's going to happen? The Jags draft really, really well. It seems like they can't keep anybody. So let's see if they can keep them now.
Yeah.
Hold on to that pick. I mean, the Jags draft really well. And shout out to my boy there. I feel bad for him because they seem to trade or just basically let go anybody that's worth a shit. I don't understand it. So
they have a high pick every single year. I mean, you think back like Leonard Fournette.
They nail it though. They absolutely nail it though. I mean, they draft well.
Yeah, Fournette got put into a very shitty position there. I mean, he was a great running back at college, but I don't think he was put in the right team. And then you look at our boy Yannick Ngakoue.
Wow.
And it only took him 15 weeks to get that
how do you spell that?
We'll work on that later.
WAY. Anyway, and then Josh Allen last year, drafted him. He looked pretty good. This year, he's not looking very, very good. I don't know who they drafted. Who did they take this year?
Who, the Jacks?
Yeah.
Mark Brunell.
Mark Brunell?
Yeah.
Junior.
Anyway, I mean, yeah, they've been doing pretty good overall for drafting, but I just hope they blow it. And you talk about the Jets should have won games. There's a lot of games that Jacksonville should have won. I mean, they should have won that Minnesota game a couple weeks ago. Henderson, that's right. He's not looking too bad, but I think they reached for him. I think there was better players they could have went with, but they needed a cornerback, so they drafted him. But it's tough. And then on the other side of this is, like I was talking about yesterday, is you don't have the rights to Trevor Lawrence anymore. How do you get a coach to come into this team and take it over? Why
Gase stays, to John's point.
And how could you keep Gase on the team? He's turned this into an absolute. It's just a shit show. The team is it's so bad. How do you keep him on again? The fans would would go ballistic if you kept him at this point, especially with now losing Trevor Lawrence. Like, he's going to go down as the worst coach to ever coach the Jets. Just, I mean, record-wise, losing a generational talent, he's going to go down by far as the worst. It'd
be interesting to see what the players say, right? What do the players say? If the Jets somehow win next week or win against the Pats and they end on a high note, do they say, okay, we got some guys coming back that opted out. We got some draft picks. Let's keep it together. Let's not change everything for Donald. Let's just go at it a little bit more, a little further.
Well, then I've got to start looking at who the quarterback coming out next year is, because that's who we're getting at the top.
Right, probably.
If that's what happens, because it's going to be bad. But yeah, I forgot about Chase On as well, he actually slipped. Was a really nice pick at 20.
Yeah.
Oh, and I can only imagine that if all else fails, Adam Gase could move to Jacksonville, Florida, and live like a king for the rest of his life. I mean, I can't imagine that he's safe in the New York, New Jersey area, but Jacksonville will welcome him with open arms. They'll probably buy him a house. He can live tax-free. You know.
What do you think Marone's neighbors are saying now? Right? They see him in the yard cutting the lawn. Hey, listen, whatever you do,
don't win a game.
He was saying today too. He goes, I hear all the talk, but we prepare to win. I'm trying to win. Nobody in the organization has told me otherwise. Like if they did say, listen, we're throwing the other two, he's going to come out and say that, right? No chance. But the mayor of Jacksonville said, hey, 'tis the season. Santa smiled on Jacksonville today.
Yeah.
So the mayor's a big football fan, apparently, right? Yeah.
And to Mitch's point, I mean, how many players have been drafted that are can't miss players? I mean, honestly, how many?
No,
we could probably name more quarterbacks drafted in the first round that are busts than they are successful.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But you also play the odds.
Of course,
that's all football is playing the odds.
That's why you take the lineman from Oregon. I mean, honestly, if you're going to keep Donald for a year, you take the lineman from Oregon, you're still going to suck next year. Now you got two bookends with Becton and God, what's his name? I'm going to have to figure out this guy.
Purnell, I think it is. Sewell.
Yeah. Whatever. We suck at names. Yeah.
This is a football show. It's not an English class, so
exactly. So you have a couple bookends on the O-line. You draft a quarterback, or you sign a free agent, and then go from there. Right, Jamarcus Russell, the guy could throw from one leg 70 yards in the air. Too bad he couldn't throw a completion in the NFL. You know what I mean? It was just,
But that was the Raiders picking. I don't think anybody else at number one would have picked Jamarcus Russell.
I mean, he was highly touted out of LSU that year. He really was. So, but
we'll
again,
see.
Who knows? But
yeah,
it's or they go after one of these other quarterbacks. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we're sitting at 2, I want to trade down. I really do. Trade down, grab a couple extra picks. Still hopefully pick somewhere in the top 10. If you can get Jamar Chase and an extra first round pick, that's a win.
Well, it depends who you draft in too, though. You know what I mean?
Well,
who needs quarterbacks?
Yeah, well, Carolina probably, Chicago, Denver.
Carolina just signed Teddy, though. I don't think they're.
But it was only like a 2-year deal, I believe. So potentially Atlanta at 5. They might be looking at Matt Ryan's replacement. Carolina's picking 4 right now. Mm-hmm. Dallas maybe at 8. Maybe they just say, let's go up and
could be
that. The Giants maybe at 10.
I'd see Denver more than anybody, but I don't know what they got for draft capital.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit, a very, very good potential there because Matt Stafford's
going after a quarterback. Giants need a pass rusher
desperately. But yeah, I mean, there's Carolina, Atlanta, Dallas, Detroit, Denver. There's 5 teams right there in the top 13 that need a quarterback. Obviously, the further down you get, the higher the rewards you get. So if you end up trading number 2 to Denver, you're going to get a haul back for that, for them to move up from 13 to 2. But if the Jets can trade, maybe Atlanta wants to get him and they want to jump Carolina, you move back to 5. You're probably getting Jamar Chase right there, plus an extra first round pick, plus not
I don't
just
know.
that,
I don't know if Denver gives up on Drew Lock.
Oh, he's terrible.
I mean, to take what, Fields?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's an upgrade.
I don't know if he would do that.
But I mean, at the same time, Fields might be an upgrade over Sam Darnold. I don't know. He's just had so many inconsistent.
I think he would be. I like Fields. I do. I like Fields a lot. But I mean, they got him as right now the third quarterback going behind the kid from BYU. So.
Yeah, I could see Chicago. I don't know where Chicago's going to end up, but I could see Chicago more than Denver.
I think they mortgaged their shit though with Trubisky, didn't they? A couple of years ago.
Trubisky's done.
That's what I mean. But I mean, they gave up a lot of picks for that. They don't have a whole lot of picks.
But this is the last.
And they
year.
gave a lot for what's his face too a couple of years ago.
Khalil Mack.
Yep.
Yeah, but they probably got their first round picks back again because it's been a couple years. Yeah, Locke is not a good quarterback. I mean, that's one where if Denver goes all in and you've got Jerry Jeudy, Patrick, Fant, 2 good running backs in Melvin Gordon and Lindsey there, you put a quarterback into that. That's looking pretty good. But Drew Lock right now with all those weapons, he can't do anything. So I mean, I'm surprised they're at 5-9. I know you loved them. But you throw Justin Fields in there with those wide receivers, that tight end, that running game.
Yep.
Tell me that's not enticing for John Elway sitting there. You know,
Jim, Joe's already like, hey, let's get the Jets some draft capital.
Yeah.
I'm going to help the Jets out right now. Hey, John Elway, reach out to me. Call me, babe. Call me.
We'll do lunch. So, so I was telling you guys when I had to get a new phone number and I was going to get a Beverly Hills number, and now I really should have, because now I could have been like, hey, John, that Beverly Hills number pops up. He's going to listen. Hey, I'm so-and-so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm Justin Fields' agent. Let's sit down and talk about you moving up, and let's get him up there skiing instead of surfing, as Jerry Maguire would say. So, but no, I mean, that was a rough game, but you go back and what really pisses me off is they keep talking all of this shit about letting the young guys develop and working with the young guys. And Frank Gore had 23 carries in this game.
The ageless Frank Gore.
Right. Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame.
He's trying to catch Emmett. He's trying to catch Emmett.
Moving up that ladder.
Yeah, it 59 yards on 23 carries. What? And we won, and the Jets won this game. Like, Travis, explain this to me. Mitch, like, how do you win a game when you rush 23 times for 59 yards and you only have 200 yards passing? No.
You think the Rams were all stoned? You think they were high or something, or drunk, and just kind of maybe pulled like a hangover and they dropped some pills in their Jaeger before the game and they all just kind of blacked out? I don't know.
I mean, that would explain something, but I can't understand it. Like, Ty Johnson is the only running back to have a 100-yard rushing game since Adam Gase has taken over this team 2 years ago, and he had 3 carries. Mm-hmm. And Frank Gore has 23 carries. Like,
Frank Gore is what, 4th on the all-time list? Or
I think he's third.
He's third. How do you not run Gore?
I don't know. Maybe we could call Jim Brown up. He's pretty high up on the list. Maybe we'll just keep running him.
Hey, pretty good shape too.
Emmett, you still in Arizona? You want to fly out to New York? Get a couple more carries in there. Gase will run you till your legs fall off. Mm-hmm. So, I can't explain it.
Trap game. 3 and out. Punt gets blocked. When was the last time they just blocked a punt? What?
1994.
I think you're right.
Yeah, just overall.
What is going on? I mean,
Joe, you didn't order a Lawrence jersey, did you?
I didn't. I had it queued up.
I was going to blame you then.
Nope.
You would be yourself to blame.
No, I said after the clock hits 0 against the Patriots, I'm putting that order in, and
mm-hmm.
I should get it anyway, just to be like, this is how it should have been, and
It would just be perfect though for the Jet fans, for Jacksonville to win, and then the last game of the season against the Pats, the Jets win.
Yeah.
I mean, it would just be
you're right.
It would just be perfect because then the whole thing would turn around. We're in number one, and they go to New England, or I don't know, I don't even know where the game's played, and then Belichick
The
lays
bubbly,
down.
Joe got the bubbly. He's doing a Facebook Live show by himself again, squirting it all over himself.
In the bathtub, and Belichick lays down, and the Jets win.
No.
3-0. They scored 3-0, and that's it.
Well, see, Jim, that's kind of what we were talking about before we came on. Is this is the only game that I didn't see happening. Like there were other games that's like, oh, and I've said it each week. Oh, the Jets could win this game, and you guys, you're crazy. There's no way. But don't even worry about it. This is the first week where I was like, there's no way the Rams are going to let them win. I mean, they've got a 1-game lead over Seattle. They've got to hold on to this. This should be an easy win. They should just come out, put it away, and it's done. Like with how everything lined up, the Raiders, I was worried about it. Seattle, I was like, maybe they'll come out and play hard because Jamal Adams is on the other side. I've always been worried about the last game against the Patriots, but I just didn't see this game happening. I didn't see next week because the Browns are pushing for a playoff spot too. So I thought these are two teams that are just going to go out there full speed and just plow through it and not look back. And it's hard.
Yeah.
That's what makes it harder.
Right. You can't fall into the trap games. I mean, you have to just come out and dominate early and take them out of the game. Because you let them hang around. Well, they weren't even hanging around. They were in the lead the whole game, right? Did they ever relinquish the lead? I don't think so.
Nope.
I mean, that's just incredible. It's incredible.
No, they were up
so many times. You let the other team hang around, and in one little mistake in the fourth quarter, and they somehow score, and then you go home a loser, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to predict the Rams are going to kick the shit out of Seattle. Sorry, Mitch. I love you, bro. I'll tell you what, Sam Darnold, why can't I say his name?
Aaron Donald?
Aaron Donald. Thank you. Jesus, got it. He is going to eat somebody, like literally eat somebody next week. Because, I mean, he is by far one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. And my God, he did nothing against New York. I'll tell you what, that Rams team is going to come out next week, and that's going to be a friggin' a muscle type game to watch.
I don't know. Aaron Donald couldn't do anything against the Jets' offensive line, and that offensive line is horrendous.
Oh yeah,
it's really weird because I was watching that, and he got a couple pressures early on, but he wasn't even going up against Becton. I could see if he was going up against Becton because he's really good. Nobody gets around him. He stops everybody. I watched a lot of him specifically in this game, and it's like almost like the ends just gave up. Like the edge rusher hit him, and he's just like, oh my God, I'm not getting through, and just kind of like, all right, let's push each other for a little bit, and that was it. But Aaron Donald, he was not a factor.
Nothing
in this game, and that's all these Jets fans are like, oh, we need a pass rusher. We need this on the defense, that on the defense. If Aaron Donald can't get to Sam Darnold in this patchwork offensive line, it's like I've talked about. You cannot win without a quarterback. It doesn't matter how good of a defensive end you have, how good of a cornerback you have. The quarterback wins it. And Sam Darnold somehow beat that Rams defense, beat that Rams team. He did it. Not his 200 yards. He was efficient. He did enough to beat that team, but Aaron Donald should have knocked him out of the game, in all honesty. And he couldn't even get to him. It was.
We were kind of joking about that last week too, weren't we? We were talking about how Donald is going to get to him, and he's going to stuff him, and they're not even going to be able to get throws off in it. And it was just the absolute opposite. I had it on the Red Zone channel, and as the Jets are scoring, I'm like, what the hell's going on? Why are the Jets scoring right now? And before you knew it, it was like, holy shit, they are going to win this game. They had that chance at the end, but again, they couldn't even get to him. I mean, how many times did Sam get sacked? A couple? One? Or did they even get to him? I don't know.
He had 2 sacks
Okay.
for 11 yards. Jared Goff was sacked 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had identical numbers. I mean, him and Goff had identical attempts.
Yeah.
3 yards difference, and rushing was almost identical. I mean, they went toe to toe with the Rams, and which is
Where was Cam Akers yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, nowhere.
He ran for 170 against New England, and then nothing.
Well, he got hurt early on, left the game for a while, and then came back.
Right. But still, I mean, it's
right. But Aaron Donald had three tackles, 1 solo tackle, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 quarterback hit. That's it. Aaron Donald. How does Aaron Donald do that against the Jets' offensive line? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean, just a devastating game all around. Devastating. Travis, congratulations. You'll actually have a good football team in Jacksonville if all holds true as we stand today. Because I watched that Clemson Notre Dame game, and the dude looks real. I mean, the game. We've talked about this before. Is like quarterbacks. You see that development go from the happy feet, the making stupid mistakes, their heads going all over the place, to the Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, everything slow, steady. Run through the progressions and hit your guy. That's what Lawrence already looks like. He's back there in the pocket. He's looking linebackers off. He's dropping dimes in. There's no panic. It's just smooth, and it just makes me sick. And it's going to be such a hard pill to swallow for all Jets fans for the next 15 years. Watching what could have been. I find it hard to believe watching those games that he's going to be a miss. I really do. It just doesn't look like he is going to be a bust. He could be, he's going to Jacksonville. When's the last time Jacksonville had a good quarterback? Kerry Collins? No, Kerry Collins was with the Panthers. When
Mark Brunell.
Was it Mark Brunell? Was that 94?
Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardle, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was, God damn, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
Travis, what year was that? When was the last time?
They started in 95, I think. Panthers and Jags. Wasn't that the inaugural season for both?
Well, they played in the AFC Championship their second year. I was in Japan, and they played New England, I want to say, the second year. I think that was the year the Pats beat them. Yep. And we lost to Green Bay. That was the year we lost to Green Bay. So,
So,
I mean, Jacksonville was right there.
Yep.
Yeah. But since then, they haven't been. Right? I mean, it's been pretty tough sledding. I mean, this is coming from a Jets fan, so obviously take that with a grain of salt, because we haven't been anywhere in the last decade. So I know what it's like. But yeah, it's rough. But we'll see. I hope he doesn't go to a team that ruins him. That's it. Even if it's the Jets, you don't want to see somebody come out with that much talent and just get flushed down the toilet. So hopefully it's good, and we'll see from there. But let's while I'm still teetering on the edge, let's talk about the Patriots a little bit and bring me back. Because I could really use that right now.
Did the Pats win this week?
So I'm not even going to really talk about the game.
No. Let's talk.
Kind of no need to. I'm going to talk about the situation. Okay, I'm going to talk about the situation of the Patriots. So this is going to be the first time in 12 years that we've missed the playoffs. Second time since 2001. So this is a tough one. Miles Jack, boy. It's a tough pill to swallow. But at the beginning of the year, I predicted them 7-9. I predicted them 7-9. I didn't think they were going to win more than 7, and I may be spot on. I wish I would have been wrong, but I'm not. It's just our offense is less than mediocre at best. Cam started out pretty damn good at the beginning of the season. He got sick, and I'm telling you, something changed from there. I mean, the way he threw, they go up to Seattle and lose a gunfight up there. And Cam was kind of standing toe to toe with Russell Wilson. And at the time, Wilson was just carving people up. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know what happened. I mean, I think he threw for like another 120 yards. Harris was out, so that was tough. Oh, God, I hope not. I don't want to see Stafford on New England. Sweet Moses, no. But it's just one of those years where I think our defense was really good for a while. I think they are still really good. Our special teams played great. They kept us in most of the games, and our offense kind of let us down. And I think for next year, I'm already looking forward to next year. Depending on what happens with Gilmore, J.C. Jackson has been an absolute beast. His 9th interception yesterday against Miami. We get the guys back off the COVID opt-out, signs maybe a couple free agents, but something needs to be done with the offense because our defense can't win games every single week. I said we weren't going to let a rookie quarterback win, and unfortunately they did. Tua played pretty good, so
tisk.
I know, and I'll tell you what, Miami's D played well, but it's not hard to play D against us when we're not really moving the ball at all. I mean, it was a very bland game. Once again, a very vanilla play calling, and I just don't see how like Jarrett Stidham doesn't get a chance. How can he be worse than Cam right now? Because honestly, if that's the case, if Jarrett Stidham is not the guy, then they need to release all 3 quarterbacks and start over. Because if we're not even going to see Stidham against Buffalo next week, because Buffalo still has to win. So let's see him in a game where it counts. Let's see him in a game where Buffalo has to come out and win. And then maybe see what Stidham can do under pressure. Don't play him against the Jets the last week. That's just stupid. You get 2 teams that are playing for nothing except, honestly, draft position. So it's like, come on. I was hoping to see Stidham. I don't see how he would be any worse. But honestly, if he is, then got the whole quarterback, and I don't even know where to go. But, it's funny. I seen Stafford online. Now every single quarterback is linked to New England. Jameis Winston's linked to New England. Matt Stafford's linked to New England. I'm like, come on. I mean, I can still see Jimmy G coming. I mean, who knows? Maybe Carson Wentz, if he'll take about a $125 million pay cut over the next couple of years. But talk about an awful situation there in Philly. Oh, boy. But I'd like to have that problem. You know what I mean? At least one of the quarterbacks is playing good. So, not a great year offensively. There's a couple games that kind of came down to the red zone. I mean, last week, 4 times in the red zone, didn't score. Cam's fumbled, inside the 20. I would like Jameis Winston in New England because of how he throws, but can he handle learning that offense with Belichick, and when Belichick be patient enough to teach him? I don't know. I would love to see Jameis Winston. I mean, he threw 30 touchdowns, about 30 interceptions. Daniel Jones, God. No, I don't want Jones either. I don't want Daniel Jones either. So I'd honestly probably rather have Jameis than Daniel Jones right now. But I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. But as you can see, I'm wearing my Pats gear. I got my Pats banner in the back. They've given us 20 years of competitive football, and I'm not going to turn my back on them now after one bad year. It's frustrating. It's getting easier towards the end of the season because it is almost over. I just hope that somehow we can find a quarterback out there because they just don't come that easy as some teams find out. The Jets, we talk about Denver with all those weapons. Chicago has been missing. Carolina, we'll see. We'll see how Teddy pans out in a year where he has Christian McCaffrey for a full season too. It's just hard. So it's, Buffalo forever. God, this is what their first AFC conference wins championship since '95.
Yeah.
They've been failing. Miami's been failing. So all these teams in the AFC East, depending on where the Jets finish out and who they draft next year, it's just, I mean, it's going to be loaded with quarterback talent. Look at Cincy now. So it's a little depressing, but it's a grounding year for New England. I'll tell you what, and for the New England fans, I see a lot of people saying they suck. fire Bill Belichick. Get over yourselves. I mean, the guy's been a mastermind forever. I don't want to hear it. He can stay there as long as he wants, unless somebody like Jerry Jones buys him and, fires Tom Landry and brings in Jimmy Johnson. And look what Jimmy did up there. But we'll see. We'll see. Tough couple games left, though, with Buffalo and then the Jets. And I hope to God the Jets beat us just for our draft pick and watch them draft like 4th or something.
They probably will. They probably will.
So,
that's going to happen. So, Joe, how do you feel about listening to John? This is a great comment right here.
I feel like that's actually might be true. Like,
it might be.
I don't think it can't be coincidence. All of these things that happen to the Jets can't be coincidental. There's just too many things. Like, the odds of all of these things happening, like, it's got to be up there with, like, the asteroid that took out the dinosaurs, like everything lining up perfectly for that to happen. This is almost where we're getting to with the Jets. Everything, like, they're going to have to rename Murphy's Law to Gase's Law, or, to Johnson's Law, Jets Law, something, because it's getting to the point to where it's like, come on, like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Jim.
How do you feel about John, crying about not having a quarterback? 20 years he's had quarterbacks. You haven't 50 years since Joe Namath you haven't had a quarterback. And he has one year without a quarterback, and he's saying, "Oh, I hope." Come on.
So I'm not crying. I'm just being a realist, Jim.
This is the first time you're sitting down in the preseason without anything to do. I mean, postseason. Postseason.
Right. Well, and I don't think John's going anywhere, but I'm interested to see in like 3 years what the Patriots bandwagon starts to look like, right? Because the Patriots are so used to winning, and really the impression that I get is that Patriots Nation just thinks another quarterback's just going to come in here and it's just not going to miss a beat, and it doesn't work like that. You see it with Stidham, you've seen it with Cam. It's just not easy to just grab a quarterback and it's just success, instant success. So I don't know. I'm interested to see if this year ends, right? You let Cam walk, you draft a quarterback.
And if Belichick leaves, and it's a total overhaul, and it's a decade of nothing.
Right.
I have lived through that, though.
Yeah.
I lived through a lot of terrible Patriot teams.
Yeah.
And just to get back to that comment by Travis, you don't like Jameis in New England. I would, but here's the thing. Any quarterback that comes to New England has to have weapons. We don't have weapons. I mean, you could put Aaron Rodgers on New England. We may be a little bit better. But I'm telling you right now, my God, if we don't start getting some people that can catch the ball and run the ball, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. So it just kind of starts with the quarterback. Somebody needs to be postured around him.
Yeah, but you think about kids that were born 95, 96 that were, they were 5-year-old, 6-year-olds when this started. This Patriots dynasty started. They're grown men now with 5-year-old kids of their own. Like, like this has just been life, and we've talked about it. This is what it is.
That's right. That's about right.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
that is perfect. I have 2 sons. One a little bit older. He's 28, and my youngest is 23. So they only know winning. They only remember the Patriots winning Super Bowl. So this is a little different. They get frustrated. It's kind of funny. The blue Lambo. I mean, I bought one blue and one red. I figured that would appease both of them. So, but I mean, I'm used to that. I'm used to bad Patriot teams. It's just I'm not used to it in the last 20 years. That's just a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is. But this, like I said, it's a grounding year for Patriots fans. Let's see who's here after the dust settles.
Can you even say you're used to it though? Because it's like moving from like Alaska to Arizona. Like, yeah, I used to live in Arizona. I know what it's like, but I need to get acclimated all over again.
I shouldn't say I'm used to it. I respected it. I respected that 20 years. I respected the greatness because we never won anything.
Yep.
My dad was telling a story last night that we were Cowboys fans when we were little. Well, we were because it was them, the Steelers, and like who else on TV? The Giants were always on TV. Philly was always on TV. It was always NFC East teams. Miami with Marino. I mean, I was probably 12 by the time I got to watch a Patriots game on TV, because they were actually relevant. So
yeah. But for the young kids who know nothing else, this is what they know. Let's say this happens again next year. Patriots win 6 games, 5 games, 7 games, somewhere in there. Bill says this is enough. Like, I'm done. Like,
Bill, John's getting up in his seat now.
Right. I mean, think about. Let's just put it in. If Bill Belichick and Brady left this team this year, if Bill would have said Brady's done, I'm just going to call it. I'm going to ride off into the sunset.
He should have.
How many games would they have won?
How not many. Not many. And honestly, this is one of Belichick's, I think, best years. It's his worst year with the Patriots, but I think it's one of his best years coaching. With what he did with this team. He has. Yeah. He truly has.
But let's go 2 years from now when, they're a 500 team for the next 3 years, and you're going through a coaching change, you're going through a quarterback change. It's those guys that were, Stephon Gilmore now, he's done for the year. We'll see when you get him back.
It's not completely torn, I believe. It's not like completely shredded.
Yeah.
It's a partially torn quad, I heard. So
and Fladuba.
Yeah, and you got a bad Fladuba going.
Yeah, the Fladuba just went completely though.
It's happened a lot this year. There's been a lot of Fladubas being
Fladubas, but
that's the worst.
Yeah, but reality as we stand today is the Patriots are not on the up; they're on the down, right? So and what happens?
That AFC East is tough. Right. Buffalo's going to be tough for a couple of years.
Not for the Jets. Could have been really hard if Trevor Lawrence was coming to the green and white, or the black and green. But I had to pull out my Sam Darnold jersey because he's the quarterback now for the next couple of years. So.
He's my quarterback.
He's my quarterback.
And we'll sign Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very. It's going to be a fun show to do over the next couple of years and kind of see how this whole thing evolves. Maybe Travis, if you're still watching, maybe I'm pulling for another win for you guys. So we'll get Trevor Lawrence in here, and the AFC East will turn into just an actual powerhouse, just year in and year out. I think that would be a lot of fun instead of just the Patriots win 13 games every year and everybody else is taking the table scraps for a couple wins here and there. Like, I would love to see the AFC East turn into the NFC West. That would be awesome. That would be so much fun week in and week out to have those type of battles that you're just really excited for. I know it's probably not going to happen, but the only thing I have in my life is hope. That's it. I have nothing solid. My life I just live and breathe by the potential that things can get better. So how I haven't jumped off of a bridge, I'm not sure, but here I am, and no, I'm not going to do that. But
I was just going to ask you. It's my duty to ask you.
No. The Jets aren't paying me enough money to jump off of a bridge. So
no, and like I said, the fans take it harder than the players do. The players aren't feeling like this today. The players having a party today. They probably get the day off today. Don't worry about practice. Stay home. Don't worry. It's Christmas week. It's Christmas week. Don't work today.
They're all hungover. So
yeah, sure. Champagne all the way home on a plane. Yeah.
I was negative 12 years old when the Jets won the Super Bowl.
That's right.
You were just a young little lad, weren't you?
Negative 12. Yeah.
I can't wait to see what's going to come. I really can. It's going to be very interesting to watch the Jets continue to just kind of flounder around at 5-6 and 3-7 wins, and watch the Jaguars win a couple Super Bowls. And
could you imagine that? Could you imagine if all of a sudden? I don't think they're a quarterback away from going anywhere, but they did play some competitive games, and another year or two, all of a sudden they're in the playoffs or they're doing something, and the Jets are still floundering.
It's going to be rough, and I'm going to look back to all the people that are like, "I'll never root for the Jets to lose a game," that were super happy this week, and push them off a bridge. But all right, so let's talk about the Giants, the only team that's got anything left to be excited about.
So Cruz here is saying he'd like to see Trevor on the Giants. I don't know. I mean, so you're giving up on Daniel Jones? I think we got to give him another. I like the way he runs. I think another year experience. He's got some players around him, so I do want to see what he could do. And yes, I do hate the Cowboys. I see your other question there. Yeah, I love to see Jerry Jones lose. It's just a wonderful thing. Is Jerry's world down there, and nothing happens, so it's great. So yeah, the Giant game, 20-6, right? I mean, come on. So again, we said a couple weeks ago they shouldn't have started Jones against Arizona. Jones should have been back this week. But again, McCoy, 19 for 31, again, didn't make any mistakes, didn't put us in trouble. Threw the ball behind some guys, missed a couple passes, but didn't throw them up for grabs, didn't throw interceptions either. So didn't lose any balls. But Baker, man, I don't know how we could not get near this guy. I mean, we couldn't knock him down. We couldn't get in his face. He had so much time back there, and he was hitting everybody. I mean, he was throwing rockets at everybody, and his receivers were open all game. And it was just brutal. I mean, he had almost 300 yards passing to the Giants, 221. No interceptions. I was hoping we can get some pressure on him because, they all know once you put pressure on him is when he makes his mistakes. Right, he's going to get some balls tipped. He's going to throw some balls away, and we just couldn't do it. I mean, we had some really long drives. I mean, the drives were 9, 7, 12, 9, 5, 9. So we were moving the ball down the field, but, we get into the red zone, and all of a sudden, instead of taking 3 points with Colt there, they decide to do a trick play and have the punter throw the ball to the center. I mean, what? I mean, I know Jason Garrett was out with COVID, and I know Bradbury was out because he was in contact with somebody with COVID, his chiropractor, they said. But, I mean, what is the trick play there? I mean, we're in there. I get it. If it would have scored, it would have been great, but I don't like that. I mean, you're that close. We don't know what we're going to do going forward. You have a chance to take points, you take the points, right? And then we turn it over on downs in the red zone, and then later on in the game, we do it again. Twice, turn over on downs in the red zone. That's unacceptable. I mean, how you could do it, I don't understand it. We had 2 field goals all game, 6 points, and just a disgusting game, really. I mean, they couldn't get anything going, even though they had the drives, right? Targeted Darius Slayton again 9 times, only hit him 4 times for 74 yards, but couldn't get Goldman going really. We rushed for 74 yards. Cleveland ran for 106. But, it was nice to see the long drives and eating up the clock, but just we could not get in the end zone, couldn't get anything done, and couldn't get to Baker. That was the key to the whole game. We needed to get to him, and we need a pass rusher, like I said, in the draft. We got to get somebody who's going to be a frontline pass rusher because I think the line has been working out. Garrett out is a good thing. Yeah, that's probably right. Freddie Kitchens, who was on the Browns, last year? Was calling the plays, but a couple of those trick plays. I can't imagine Kitchens called that trick play for the punter to throw it to the center. Judge had to be. I mean, really, could they have handed the reins over to Kitchens and he decides the punter's going to throw it to the center in the end zone on 4th down? I don't know. I mean, it's just weird play calling. I didn't watch the game at halftime. I was so depressed. I was doing a lot of fast forwarding too. I know. But 2 field goals, 6 points, just disgusting. And now we're tied with Dallas at 5-9, right? Nobody's eliminated yet. Washington, so we talked about Seattle, and not to jump off the Giants here, but so Seattle only beats Washington 20-15. Seattle loses to the Giants, blows the Jets out of the water, and then they come to Washington and only win by 5. Don't cover the spread, right? So that was another big thing this week. Packers don't cover the spread. The Rams obviously don't cover. The Colts didn't cover. It was just all over the board, unless you were doing teasers or whatever. You straight up bets. None of the teams, none of the favorites really covered this week.
So I seen something yesterday. New York has the worst 2 offenses in the NFL. The Jets are last, and the Giants are next to last. And Cincy, I think, is tied with you guys, Jim, for points scored. Mm-hmm. As long as they kick a field goal tonight, they won't be anymore.
I think that's going to happen?
Against a field goal, I'll say a field goal at least against Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. But No, the Giants, I'm telling you, without Jones, it's that offense is anemic. I mean, they weren't great with him.
Right.
But with Colt McCoy, I mean, I think we talked about it, 2 weeks ago when they played Arizona. They just don't have the firepower to keep up with these teams that can score points. And Cleveland can score points. I hate to say it. Arizona can score some points. They just can't keep up with teams like that. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, now, look out for Philly now. I mean, honestly,
I mean Philly and Washington. I mean, both of them are playing good ball. Yeah.
I mean, he looks good. He really does. So I mean, Dallas is winning now. It's just so weird.
Four horse race now.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if Philly actually took over. I mean, it just wouldn't. I mean, they gave Arizona everything they could handle. Mm-hmm. They really did. So,
no, I mean, each team has played a good team recently and beat them. Yeah. I mean, so they're all coming alive at the end here to fight for the finish because they all know they're in. Any other year, they'd be packing it in already because it'd be over. You can't be in it at 5-9 ever. And the fact that they're all still in it is giving them motivation, I guess, to fight. I mean, it's sick to see. And in the last game of the season, where everybody plays each other, is probably going to have high implications as to what happens, right? I mean, just absolutely crazy. So Jones back next year? Yes, I think so. I don't think we draft a quarterback. I think we have to stay with Jones.
Right.
Joe's shaking his head. I think we have to.
No, I don't think you can cut him at this point.
You have to stay with him.
Yeah. And for what he's done with this team, it's not terrible. I mean, he hasn't played outstanding, but you give him Saquon back.
Right. Everyone forgets, right? You just forget about Saquon because he hasn't been here all year.
Right.
Right. So if he was here, what would this year really look like?
He's kind of good. I mean, just saying. I don't want to toot the guy's horn or anything, but he's a pretty decent running back. You throw him back there, and that, I mean, even last year, the safety valve that he was for Jones. What was he catching? 15 passes a game.
Yep.
That's and then. Yeah, you've got Ingram, you've got Slayton, you've got Shepard, you've got some weapons there.
John's favorite, Golden Tate. Yep. I mean, there's pieces.
In the football again. Played 7 games this year.
Yep.
There's pieces there. There's offensive pieces there.
Yep. We need some more help on the O-line, especially on the blind side. We got to get a pass rusher. But I mean, the secondary's fine. The linebackers are fine. It's a couple of pieces here and there, and we'll see what happens next year with, does Dak come back? What happens with Washington? Is Alex Smith back? Is Jalen going to be the quarterback going forward? So what is the East going to look like? But no, I think Jones comes back and Saquon comes back, and if we get a couple of those pieces there, then I think we're competitive. Yeah, absolutely.
And I haven't seen Is Andrew Thomas doing anything on that offensive line? I saw Leonard Williams just pushing him around like he was just like a cute little baby. Yeah. But he was supposed to be.
He struggles.
He was supposed to be the best, the best coming out, the most pro ready off left tackle coming out, and.
Right. They tried. Right. Well, Solder was supposed to be over there too, but he opted out. But no, they run right around that kid, Andrew Thomas.
That's tough.
Maybe another year he gets better. Maybe he has to change his technique and make some off-season adjustments. But and they changed the O-line coordinator a couple weeks ago. So I mean, maybe he has to get kind of redirected and change his footing, and we'll see. But he's played a lot better since he got rid of the O-line coach. Okay, but he was getting beat early in the year. They were running right around him. He was just getting shoved back, driven back into the quarterback, or they were just running around him or beating him inside. I mean, it was just, it was like he wasn't even there half the time. And that didn't help Jones because Jones was running for his life and throwing the ball up, and that was leading to a lot of the turnovers too.
Yeah, but like you said, you get Solder back next year, and if he could bounce back to what he was in New England, and Thomas could take a step forward, that's some big keys. Then you get Saquon back again. Yep. And man, I still love Ingram, and he's so underutilized in that offense.
I want to see him healthy all season, and he gets open, and he has good hands.
Mhm.
And if we get everybody healthy to see what he can do, because the kid's quick. He's lightning quick when he gets open in the open field.
It's like Slayton. He's just underutilized. And I know the last couple of weeks they're finally starting to throw the ball to him. But I mean, why wouldn't you? Keep feeding him the ball. I mean, make teams defend him. But I guess right now you really don't have to because, like you said, 9 targets, 4 catches. So it's kind of.
And John, could you imagine what Bill could do with him in New England? Man.
I don't trust Bill's draft picks on wide receivers one bit.
No, but tight ends. I mean,
I'm talking
Ingram.
Ingram. Yeah, absolutely.
You know how Bill loves his tight end.
Yep.
Somebody get us somebody at that playing tight end that can catch a football. Anybody, just anybody.
Yeah,
it's good. He's got to play more like Gronk does, like Jason Witten does. Edelman. Just get behind the line and get open, and then run after the catch. I think he likes to get deep and go for the longer passes instead of take the short stuff and then beat that first tackle and get the extra yardage.
Because he's big enough.
Get the 12, 15, 17 yards. You don't have to get 35, 40, right? And I think they're going to make that change and let the receivers go deep because he's running as deep as the receivers are. Right?
Yeah, and he's big enough to shed a tackle, but he's fast as a wide receiver. So he could shed a couple tackles and be gone, but they're not using. I mean, he's like a smaller, faster version of Gronk, really. I mean, nobody's Gronk in the fact that he could just literally drag people 25 yards. But he's still good. And that what really scares me is watching Pitts down there in Florida and thinking of him in a Patriots uniform fucking gives me nightmares.
God, I hope
nightmares. That dude. Oh my God.
I don't know if the Pats will be able to get him where what I think right now they're 14, 15 projected to draft. He won't be there. There's no way he's going to be there. We would have to trade up, and that's not Bill's MO. So,
no.
But God, I would love to see him. God,
Scary.
coming out of there.
Scary.
Have Julian maybe sign maybe sign a true number 1 receiver mixed in with the undrafted pool they have, and then find a quarterback.
That's Cruz just hit it. If he's thinking Kenny Golladay,
oh my God,
and somebody's going to get him at a steal, right? He's got. I mean, he's
hurt.
He's been hurt all of this year, and he was hurt quite a bit last year too. So you're going to get him at a good price. He's not going to be able to fetch that premium price, but he is a premium.
Sure, player. Talent-wise, he's there.
Yes,
he needs to stay healthy.
So if you could get him at like a, I don't know, Edelman type of price, something like that, to where you're not paying him
number 2 receiver money.
Yes, if you could get him there, and he can play like he did his rookie year, or even into year 2. God, I mean, scary. But then you don't have anybody to throw the ball to him, so it really doesn't matter.
You still need a quarterback,
right?
Then you bring in Jameis Winston to chuck the ball around, and then I'd be okay. But I mean, there has to be pieces for New England to attract any quarterback.
Yeah,
because after watching Cam fail, so look at Brady the second half of last season, played awful.
Yeah.
Now Cam came in, not great. I mean, he started out okay, but Cam couldn't win here. Are they going to keep another year? I don't see Cam even wanting to stay here with the weapons there. Now, maybe if they get weapons, but Cam just doesn't look like he can throw anymore.
Let it cruise.
Let it cruise.
So you know what could be interesting?
Westbrook too. That's interesting.
What could be interesting if the Patriots sign Kenny Golladay, the Lions trade up with the Jets to take Fields, and then trade Stafford to the Patriots for like a third or a fourth. I'd say a fourth. You could probably do Stafford for a fourth, pair him back up with Kenny Golladay. Would you hate it?
Could you imagine if that's what the Pats? Good.
I mean, Matt Stafford on New England. any Detroit Lion to me, it's like I don't want to. It's not good. I mean, it's just not good.
They're not, but
Um,
Stafford, he's not terrible.
No, he's not, and he's a tough guy. He really is. I mean, he goes out hurt a lot, but God, that guy gets the shit kicked out of him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are our options? I guess it depends. Would I take Stafford over Cam Newton right now? Probably, yeah. At least a healthy Stafford.
Yeah.
Would I take
The answer is what is yes.
What is yes?
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
I'll
take. Will I take
a package like that? Shit, yeah. And then try and grab a tight end that can catch the ball and a healthy Edelman. I don't know. I mean, there's so many what ifs, but
yeah. And
again, I don't know what the right combo is.
You did call it with Jacoby Myers bounce back this week.
Sure did.
You nailed that one. What do you have? 111.
Sure did. I mean, the guy's he's money. He is.
There's something there. You put Stafford, Kenny G, Edelman back. He's getting old, but you got Myers.
How much longer does Edelman have? What is he? Is this? He's got a couple more years. What's the contract look like? You know?
I don't know. I gotta see it. Yeah. God, that's a good question. I don't think he's a free agent next year.
But who else? Jacoby Myers and who else do you have? DeMurray Bird. I mean, he looks like he could have something. I don't know how solid he is. He's got his up and down, but
yeah.
And I think at this point, I don't know if it's just N'Keal Harry isn't good or he's just not good in New England. I don't know what it is, but I think
he needs a new scene.
You got to let that one walk. I think at this point because
he'll probably go crazy somewhere else with a great quarterback. But you put him on Green Bay, I'm sure he'd be great. But
yeah.
Right now, but I mean, he wasn't good with Brady because he couldn't run his routes. So, so now we're seeing kind of the same with right. But even when he was playing, I don't think he was where he was supposed to be, and that's why Brady called him out a lot. But now you're seeing the same thing with Cam, and now we talked about this last week. Harry's agent calling out, let's place the blame on Cam now. Come on, please. You get two quarterbacks in a system where if you don't know how to run routes and know the playbook, you're not going to get any love. So, unfortunately, I can see the Harry project dying next year, and I'll probably sign on with somebody super cheap, a team that can throw the ball, and maybe a young up and coming quarterback over in the Jets area. Maybe some Zach Wilson from BYU. Who knows?
Maybe. I'd give him a shot. But that next year would be year 4 for him, right?
Is it 4 or 3?
He missed his whole sophomore or freshman season, right?
No, I think this is his. I think it's only his. Next year will be his 3rd year. I mean, he had one catch for 12 yards yesterday. Yeah, 2019 he was drafted. So yeah, he's going into his 3rd season.
I don't know if you cut bait on him already, though. Do you? You give up?
I mean,
maybe.
I mean, I guess if you have somebody better.
Yeah.
Which if we don't, I'm going to be pissed off. So.
Right. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Why are you going to pay him 1st-round draft pick money if he's your 5th wide receiver? If you do get a good guy in free agency, you've got Jacoby Myers, you got Bird, you've got Edelman back. Where's Harry really fit on that? So why are you going to pay him?
Why are you going to pay him?
He's probably making what, $7 million, something like that, $5 million a year.
So especially a 1st-round pick, he was taking 32, so he's getting again 1st-round money, like you were saying.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it might be time to cut bait on that one. So I don't know. It's going to be.
It's sad, but
it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be interesting, even from the Giants' perspective of what Saquon's going to be when he comes back. I mean, that was a major knee injury. You don't know if he's going to bounce back to what he was. God, you hope so, because unbelievable talent, next level talent. But
the guy's legs are unbelievable. They're tree trunks.
Right. I can't believe they were even capable of being hurt. They're like robotic,
unbelievable legs.
It's got cyborg legs there. There's
Earl Campbell. That's the only player I can think of that had legs like that was Earl Campbell. I mean, I know Barry did too, but Earl Campbell's legs were ginormous.
Ricky Williams had some monster legs. I remember those even in college, like him getting off the bus and like he had to turn sideways because his legs were so wide.
Oh, that's unreal.
He's so big. But he ended up being pretty good too. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's just a terrible week all around. Just terrible. I feel better talking to you guys though, so I appreciate this. Last night was hard, today was hard, but feeling a little bit better, trying to think of which way the Jets need to go now, and fingers crossed, the Bears and the Colts all get COVID, and they have to play. All the quarterbacks get COVID, and they have to play a wide receiver as a quarterback, and they lose like the Broncos did.
I think the Jags still beat.
So who did the Jags play this week?
Jags play the Bears,
and Jets play,
and the Jets play the Browns, and then. Oh yes, we do need to talk.
Yeah,
about
that was sick.
Thank you.
Curse you.
And then the Jaguars close out with the Colts, and the Jets close out with New England.
Wow, the Jags could beat the Bears.
I think so. That's the best.
No doubt.
No way.
No doubt. What do you mean? No way.
Say it. No way.
They're playing to win. They said it.
So yeah. So the Jets play who next week?
The Jets play the Browns.
Yeah, forget about that.
Yeah, I thought
that. And he's coming back to MetLife.
Hold on a second.
He's coming back to MetLife. He just played there last night, right? Baker. Yep. So you think the Jets are going to be tougher than the Giants were?
Yes. Here's why. Another letdown game. It's a letdown game. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Okay. I'm telling you, if Joe, don't shake your head. You had one last week, man.
Yeah, but that's why it's not going to be, because the Browns are going to be like, oh shit, look what.
Yeah, but the Browns, I think they're the only playoff team where they're like a -10 or something in points for and points against. I may be wrong with the number, but they give up a lot of points. They didn't last night, but they can give up some points. I still don't trust Baker Mayfield, even though he is actually having a pretty good year. Not throwing a lot of picks, but not throwing a lot anyways. He's relying on the running game and defense.
Their point differential is a -6.
-6. Okay, so
actually kind of shocking. I didn't realize that. Baltimore is behind them at 9-5 and have a +116, and Pittsburgh's ahead of them with a +112. But yet somehow the Browns have a -6 and have 10 wins.
So, I mean, I seen that last night. It's shocking that they have 10 wins. It looks like they should almost have 4. It should almost be reversed. But I don't know. Can the Jets beat the Browns? Highly unlikely. But you never know. I mean, they are the Browns. I mean, let's face it. If you close your eyes and don't look at records and say who's going to win the Browns and Jets game, the first response is who cares? And then the second one is either one, they both suck. That's what the normal phrase is.
But Travis, you don't have to worry, because I think the Jags beat the Bears, the Jets lose to the Browns, and then the last week of the season, the Jets will beat the Pats.
Yeah,
because they'll do that just to screw the fans a little bit more. They will. There's no doubt in my mind. And then the hashtag will be burn your Jets gear, right? Because everybody should burn everything. It should be like they had disco night at Comiskey way back in the 70s or maybe 1980 when it blew up all the records. Just go to Giant Stadium parking lot, blow up everything Jets, all of the merchandise everybody has, and that's it. It's over. I mean, it's over.
Just pile it all. We'll get like 6 55-gallon drums of Tannerite and just put it on there with all the Jet stuff and just
get a couple of tankers full of gasoline.
Just a Moab. Just drop a Moab on it.
Oh my God! Burn your Jets gear. That's going to be the hashtag of the year.
Yeah, it's. I don't think I could handle that emotionally. I don't think I could handle the coming back and getting that number 1 pick back again and be like, yes, we got him. And then
they'll do it. They're going to do it to you. That's what they do. The Jets' 50 years of disappointment. That's what they do all the time.
Right.
So they'll do it one more time if they have the chance.
If they do, I am kidnapping Joe Douglas, and I'm going to phone in that everybody's on the IR. Everybody. And then I will untie him after the game, and it'll be too late.
My God, I would love to see the news here if the Jags beat the Bears, which they probably will. They play competitive football. And then what happens here with Gase? Every day the news here would be just going crazy. I wonder what Gase lives. I wonder what town he lives in. I can only imagine what happens on that street all week.
Oh man, there's no way.
Police escorts.
He's got to have like a tunnel entrance to his house. There's no
Just
way.
Sleep in the stadium. Don't leave.
Yeah, right. He's probably packed his family up and moved them to Jacksonville, and he's just staying in the stadium until the season's over because it's terrible.
Mhm.
And Shaney, thanks for the Jets love, man.
Wow, listen to this.
That's nice. It's different. I'm not used to it from you,
Yes.
but I do appreciate it. I needed that.
Just showing up will be more competitive than the Giants. I mean, yeah, who called that play? I have no idea. I can't imagine it was Freddie Kitchens saying, let's have the punter Dixon throw it to what's his name? The kid that I like, to the center. No way. No way.
Yeah, let's not run an offensive play.
Nick Gates.
Let's not run an offensive play.
Right. Don't give it to Goldman to run it in. No, we'll throw it to the center who's never caught a ball ever. Let's throw it to him.
Yeah.
We'll really catch him off guard.
Then what you could do is just have Cam snap the ball 4 times and run it directly into the offense.
Right. You could do that too.
It's almost as the odds are almost as even for success on that.
It's pretty damn close.
It's bad. So
Sick.
yeah. So Dina,
please,
our fantasy league. Let me tell you how upset I am about this. Like, this was one of the most, like the rest of my sports life, one of the most disastrous years in fantasy football for me. I built my teams around Christian McCaffrey, Kenny Golladay, Eckler, and Drake. Those were like my 4 key pieces that I wanted to get a hold of. That was a disaster. McCaffrey hasn't played. Eckler's been hurt all year, or just barely came back, but it's too late. Galladay's missed the entire year, and Drake was a bust. It was just unbelievably bad. I ended up making the playoffs in 2 out of the 4 leagues that I had, not including ours. And I got the shit kicked out of me in both of them this week. And what's the one league that I win? Our free league against you, Mr. The points don't matter.
That's right. That's right.
And I blew you out. Right?
Thank God you had the Bills quarterback. Thank God you had him.
Oh, man. Josh Allen.
He's the only reason you won. Runs in for 2 TDs and throws for 2. Come on.
Oh, he's a beast.
Come on. He outduels Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, that was brutal.
Well, you know what? In my other league, I went with Aaron Rodgers and benched Kyler Murray.
Yep. I mean, Metcalf didn't help you. 6 points for Metcalf, right? Eckler, 9 points. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Just brutal. I mean, you beat me by, 12 points.
So it's me and Bayside Ballers.
Yeah, who's that? My sister.
Back to when we battled for first place. What was that?
Boy.
Week 5 was that when we were both undefeated there, going for first place?
Maybe.
Yep. So the way it should be, Dina.
So if she wins, did she have to come on the show?
I think so.
Is that the? I thought I saw that in the fine print on the at the bottom.
Right. Yeah, you got to spray a little bit of water on it and actually see all the words come out. So. Yeah, you'll have to come on the show, talk about how you managed to beat us and dominate the league. Yeah, definitely going to have you on. But yeah, it was rough. Oh God, it was rough for this year. Just bad all around. Pisses me off. But anyway, all right. So I guess we can wrap it up with that. You guys got anything else you want to talk about in teams? Or anything we didn't cover? Miss? Nothing. No. Okay. So
Nothing.
Yeah. So we'll be back. You want to do Wednesday again? Or?
So what? Thursday's Christmas Eve, right? So
yeah.
Probably not then. And there's a game Christmas Friday night. So
Wednesday show.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So we'll be back Wednesday. We'll dive into Week 16. Talk about the Jets knocking off the Browns. The Patriots getting a win. The Giants getting a win. I don't know who.
Jags getting a win.
The Jags getting a win. Yep. I could tell you every single Jets fan is now a Jacksonville Jaguars fan.
Yep. It's a perfect story. It's a perfect story for the Jags to win this week. My God. And then Jets Pats. Oh my God. What a game that would be.
Can't wait to watch it.
Hell yeah.
Whew. I don't think my heart can't handle it. I can't.
It's perfect. We need it for the show.
I can't.
We need it for the show.
I can't.
I'm rooting for the Jags. I'm rooting Jags all day. I mean the Bears. No, the Jags.
Yeah, I just need like I said, I need a COVID outbreak in the Bears locker room. Just wipe them out.
I don't know if that would help.
No, actually, I don't need an entire outbreak. Just a couple.
Johnny Mock.
Yeah, just a couple players. Knock out Trubisky and Khalil Mack, David Montgomery, and Allen Robinson. That's all. And then let them go and play with Foles and nobody else. So, oh man, I know Trubisky is looking pretty damn good, which is making me nervous. So we'll see. But anyway, all right. So we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll break down what's to come, and hopefully I'm in a better place. So
thanks for coming on, guys.
All right, yeah, thank you again. As always, guys, please subscribe. We've gotten a couple extra subscribers, so if you're one of the few people watching right now, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Help us get more exposure. Please, please, please take a second, click that button. That's all I'm asking. Don't do anything else. Just hit the button.
We're doing free subscriptions for Christmas. It's not going to cost you anything. It's free for Christmas.
Limited time offer for the next 7 days. I don't know if there might be a New Year special too, but don't wait because you're not
one thing at a time.
Yeah, but free is always better. So anyway, all right, guys. So until we meet again, until we see each other Wednesday, have a great week. Stay safe. Get your Christmas shopping done, and we will talk about football in a couple days. So
peace.
For John, for Jim, I'm Joe. Have a great night, guys.